All right. Let's see. Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and this is our monthly and quarterly planning session. So, if you don't know who I am, I'm with eCom Sellers, and my passion is helping people on their e commerce journey get focused, get consistent, get motivated, maybe at this point, to help them to achieve the goals that they're looking to achieve in their business. And if that's you, I am here for you. You can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going directly to ecomsellers.com and clicking on freebies and scheduling a free session there. So today we are doing our monthly and quarterly ecom planning because we are at the end of Q2. We're right on the cusp of the end of Q2. That means that we are at the halfway mark when it comes to our business, when it comes to the year. So, depending on where you are and how much progress you have or have not made in your business, this is your time to either, I don't know, you need to get on track, you need to tighten it up, you need to buckle down, you need to focus. This is our cram session, I guess. Because it is the halfway mark of the year. So, if you have not come to that realization, it is time to get with the program. You need to start putting together a game plan. So, the first thing I want to encourage you to do is go grab a notebook and pen because we're going to write down some stuff. We're going to take some notes. We are live on Clubhouse. We're also live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. And so you can go directly to Facebook, go to the e-commerce planning Facebook group, and then the files section, and you can download this monthly checklist. So the monthly checklist is free to download. You can access it and use it on this journey of getting organized, getting focused, getting consistent in your business. So we're going to establish some goals, some plans, put together a vision for our Q3. And as I said before, we're at the end of Q2, so it is time for you to get focused and finish strong. You have 5 days, including today, to get whatever it is that you had on your goals list, your plans, your agenda, your focus. It's time for you to get those things done. You got 5 days. I don't know that you can make a miracle happen in 5 days. Anything is possible. But depending on how much pressure you apply, how much determination you have, whatever your goals were, I hope that you achieve them. So, we're going to be talking about e commerce from a planning perspective, but we're also going to talk about all the methods of e commerce. So, these techniques, these strategies, these ideas, these thoughts are, doesn't matter what method of e commerce you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're doing private label, white label, print on demand, drop shipping, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale. It does not matter. All of these are activities that you as a seller can engage in because all sellers do 5 things. Or there are more than 5 things that all sellers do if you are selling physical products online. All sellers have to create a listing. That's the only way that your products can be found. There's no way that people can buy stuff from you unless you have a brick and mortar where the listing is not live online somewhere, whether it's a marketplace or your own store. Listings have to exist. So all sellers create listings. All sellers have to ship products to a customer in some method, some form, some fashion, whether you do it yourself or somebody else is doing it for you, or you've got some kind of automation, integration, whatever. There's a shipping component to your business. All sellers do some level of product research. It may be thin, it may be light, it may be barely present, but they are doing some level of product research to figure out what products to acquire, to list, to sell. And then some all sellers engage in sourcing. You get your inventory from somewhere. You're acquiring it from some company, business, retail store, somewhere you're acquiring that inventory. And all sellers have some level of customer service or customer response where you're dealing with dun, 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 refunds and returns. You've got reviews and you're answering customer questions. Like if you're on this journey long enough, you will have a refund. I mean, it's just going to happen. You're going to have a return. You're going to have to deal with it. All stores deal with even Walgreens and CVS, we have to deal with returns and refunds. So it is par for the course. It is something that's going to happen, and you just have to be prepared to deal with it. I'm not saying you're going to spend a bunch of time on it. You may spend very little time on it, depending on the product that you sell, but it will come along at some point the longer you're playing this game. So what I want you to do is I'd love for you to share this out with a friend. Let somebody know it's time to schedule or plan for our success in Q3. And it's also time to get focused on what we're going to do for July. So with that, I'm pulling up the document. It is, again, a document you can download in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. Go to the files section. It's the monthly planning checklist. So in the monthly planning, in your notebook, we're going to talk about a couple of different things. And some of this work when you actually sit down to do it, because if you're going to really plan for success, you're going to spend more than 1 hour doing this. Okay. We're going to be very focused and very strategic. It may take you a half a day, maybe 4 or 5 hours. It may take you longer depending on what it is that you need to pull together. But if you participate in the yearly planning session, which we do the yearly planning session, it's 3 different workshops that are done at the end of the year. Some of this you may have already done. Not all of it, but some of it. So if you've never done that before, I invite you to listen to that. So here we go. In the monthly planning checklist, we're going to start with the month-end analysis and review. Now, we're not at technically the last day of the month, but these are some things you're going to be thinking about definitely at the end of the month. So we're going to go through all the month-end stuff. There may be some additional month-end activities that you do based on your method of e-commerce, and doesn't matter the platform either. So all sellers are going to be doing something around this area. So in our month-end review, that's the first step of this journey, is to go through all the month-end stuff. So we're going to go through and we're going to review and audit the month that is ending or is just ended. So the month that is coming to a close is June. And again, some of these tasks you'll have to wait until July the 1st to do, after July the 1st or on July the 1st. And some of these tasks you can actually start preparing for now. So when we look at our month-end goals, last month we established some goals. We did. If you participated in last month's planning, you had some goals that you established for June. So the question becomes, what did you complete? What did you not complete? What did you accomplish? What did you learn? What did you do? Did you meet your goals? Did you reach your goals? And what needs to be added to next month? In other words, what did you not complete that needs to carry over into July? Or were you able to accomplish all your goals? Now, if you didn't accomplish all your goals, you still have 5 days. But if you did accomplish all your goals, that's fantastic. We'll celebrate that. If for some reason you get to the 31st of the 1st and you still don't accomplish all your June goals, let's celebrate the things you did get done. Because look, this is just a very unique time that we're in, and there's just a lot of things going on around mental health. So we are not about to beat ourselves up over the things we didn't get to accomplish in our business. We're going to celebrate the things we did get done, and we're going to celebrate the wins and successes that we did have. So during our monthly planning session, we put together our list of top goals for the month. What were your top goals for June? What are your top goals for June? What are your income producing goals that you established for June? I don't know why I'm starting to say goon. What were your income producing goals that you established for June? Did you complete those? What are your admin or operations or VA related goals for the month of June? So I'm going to tell you for myself, like I had a goal for my VAs. We started our print on demand challenge. And so I had them begin the process of creating print on demand listings every single day in the month of June. So I'll go back and assess, did we reach that goal of at least creating one new print on demand design? In some cases, there were more than one. There's like 3 a day, but in any case, that was one of the goals for the VAs. And so that's like one goal. What was it? On the income producing goals, like, did you have a goal for the number of listings that you're going to create, or a goal around your sales numbers or your profit numbers or your percentages? For some people, they may establish that I want to stay around a 30 or 40% profit margin. And so looking at your stats and your numbers, did you stay around there? For some, they wanted to create 10 listings a day. So that would mean at the end of the month, that would be 300 listings. Did you accomplish that? And that's one of the things you're going to assess. Did I create my 300 listings? Because we know that listings generate money. Okay. People can't buy what they can't find. So if the listing doesn't exist, people can't buy it. Even if the listing is bad, like it still has to exist in order for someone to go and click on the buy button. Okay. That's just a fact. your marketing goals or your ads goals. What were your goals for the month? Were you planning on creating any paid ads? Were you working on, let's say you were not working on paid ads. Let's say you were working on organic traffic or building your customer list, getting more people onto your list and you could market to them, in the future for Black Friday, thinking about that, sending them like a monthly newsletter. So, or a weekly newsletter. So, did you accomplish any of your marketing goals? What were your marketing goals and did you accomplish those? And then you each week in this month, you have weekly priorities. So technically on most occasions, you got 4 weeks in a month. So each one of those weeks had their own weekly priorities. Did you get through the weekly priorities for week 1, 2, 3, 4? Uh, were you able to accomplish those? Did you check off the list? Normally, we establish anywhere from 3 to 5 priorities. Now, this is not necessarily just priorities around your business. Sometimes these are priorities just so you can continue to work in your business. So they may be family related priorities or family related goals. Since it's the summertime, maybe you establish some goals around your priority was maybe the first week in June and July is getting the kids into their summer programs and into their summer routines, into their summer camps, so that way you could actually focus in your business. That is an important thing. So if you didn't get them set up for success, there's no way that potentially you were going to be successful if you didn't get that process going. So how did it go? We're not going to give ourselves an F if we didn't get everything done, but we are going to just increase our awareness of what were the priorities we established. If one of the things was to, get them off to camp or, prepare for your vacation just so you could stay sane, because sometimes we need a mental health break and we need to get away so that we can come back and feel refreshed and re-energized and ready to jump back into the business. So again, go back and reassess each one of your week's priorities. What was the main thing that needed to happen? Maybe one of your priorities was to begin the first week in July ordering inventory for October or November. Did you get that done for your business? So you know what's on your list. Let's go back and reassess those priorities. What are the weekly habits that you were tracking in the month of June? What were your daily goals? You had one goal each day, the thing that was the top priority for the day, that if all else goes wrong, if some reason the house comes crashing down around you, somebody gets sick. Unlike, like for me, this month was just a little crazy because my son has had multiple seizures this month. So it's like been a disruption, of course, to try and deal with his health. So, my daily goals shifted on the fly because I didn't have any control over that. If there are things that you have control over, then you focus on those daily goals. But if there are things that you don't have control over, that are true emergencies, okay? Going to a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment that you scheduled 3 months ago, 4 months ago is not an emergency. Okay. You should plan for those types of things. It is those things that are completely unexpected. Someone getting a broken arm, somebody having a seizure, one of your family members ending up in the hospital. Like these are things that you can't predict. But other things that are happening in your life, maybe those are planned. So again, separating the two and establishing one priority goal that if nothing else goes right today, this is the one thing that I need to get done today, no matter what. So how did you do on accomplishing your daily goals? Were you tracking your daily stats, your daily strat? How many listings were you creating? How many orders did you fulfill? What were your sales for the day? What were your profits for the day? Like all of this is in the My eCom Planner. So the My eCom Planner, like we have a whole list of stats that you track on a daily basis. And how did you do towards those stats? So did you do a good job? If you flip through your planner, are all the pages filled in for the month of June up to date? Okay, because it's the 26th. And then based on all of that assessment, we're going to document in our My Econ Planner, or if you don't have one, just get out a notebook. What were the lessons that you've learned in the month of June? And what were your wins and your accomplishments for the month of June? And we're going to go through and write down our lessons learned on one page, and we're going to write down our wins and accomplishments on another, because we're going to celebrate our success along this journey. Okay. So lessons learned, wins, and accomplishments. Those two things you're going to document. The other thing that we're also going to do is we're going to create a third page, which is our looking forward page. What are the things that in the month of June triggered us to think about what needs to happen in July or what needs to happen in Q3? So in that looking forward, like what are the things that we may need to carry over? What important tasks that were like on the cusp of being done, but we need to carry them over into July and continue them. Maybe it's a continuance. Maybe have some of your habits that you're working to build or things that you are going to be carrying over into the month of July anyway. Okay. Now, we did this whole thing for the month of June because we're at the end of the quarter. We're going to assess our quarter because we established some quarterly goals too. So overall, when we were in April, we're like, okay, this is the start of the quarter. And then we went into May. It's like, okay, guys, we only have one more month before this quarter is over. So, April, May, so June, we needed to make sure that we accomplished whatever goals that we had established or set for the entire quarter, for second quarter. So I want you to go back through everything that I just listed. We're not going to, go through and just confirm whether or not you established or you completed or where you are in your quarterly goals. Hopefully you did spend part of June catching up on what you had established for the quarter, the things you wanted to accomplish, the things you wanted to get done, things you wanted to focus on, things you needed to complete. So hopefully you were able to get all of that in. And again, if you were not, we are not going to beat ourselves up about it. Let's say you had 10 things that you really wanted to establish, get done, complete, track for the quarter, that your months, you were tracking all the detailed stuff. And so each one of your months, you determined how well things went or didn't go. And so in that, we're going to celebrate the things we did get done. If your list was a total of 10 and you got 7 done, we're going to celebrate that. If your monthly goals, you had 20 to 25 goals established for the month, and of those 20 to 25, you got 15 done, hey, we're going to celebrate that. That is progress that you've made. Those are things you don't have to go back and revisit. And so the things that didn't get done, we'll look at them and see if they need to be placed in our looking forward or carryover section. So you should have 3 pages at this point: lessons learned, wins and accomplishments, and page 3 is your looking forward. What do we need to carry over? What do we need to look forward into the next month or the next quarter? So that's step 1. And that alone is a lot to process. So as you step through that, you're going to fill that in. Now we're going to go on to, in the same section of month-end review, we're going to go to step 2 of this process, and we're going to scan through, if you have the My eCom Planner, we're going to scan through our brainstorming notes section of our book, because in our planner, we have the opportunity to write down some ideas, some thoughts in the brainstorming section. And we're going to either add notes to that right now, or we're going to scan through what we already wrote down. We have a sourcing notes section. So maybe as you were going to the grocery store, or you were at the mall, or you were driving by a store that's a new pop-up store that you hadn't seen before, you were inspired to say, oh my gosh, like that may be a new place that I can source inventory from. Or, oh my gosh, that could be a place where I could get new product ideas from. And so, as I live my life naturally and organically, ideas for bundles come to me all the time. Ideas for products to sell come to me all the time, because as a seller, I see things differently when I walk into stores, even when I'm just doing basic grocery shopping. So because I'm inspired by that, I make a note. I keep a note. I open up the notepad that's on my phone, and I write down things if I'm immediately inspired while I'm at the grocery store. Like, oh, we should sell this and this, or we should see if we can source this particular item, or whatever it happens to be. If I happen to take the picture of the back of any products so I can find out who the manufacturer and supplier is, again, this is where I'm going to be putting my sourcing ideas. So I'm going to dump that information. What did I collect for the month? And I'm going to review that, because I'm possibly going to use some of that to think about the inventory that I'm going to source in the month of June, so I can be ready. The month of the third quarter, so I can be prepared for fourth quarter. Okay. So going through my sourcing notes, going through personal notes. If you don't have the habit of like opening up a notepad on your phone, I would encourage you, create there's like keep notes. There's all kinds of notes that you can keep on your phone, but you can open up your phone and just have that ready to write down things if you just happen to be going to the grocery store to do your weekly grocery shopping, or you happen to be going to the store to maybe go grab some shoes for your kids. Like this month, because my son is doing performance training for track because he runs track during the school year. I had to go to a couple of sporting goods stores. And in just walking in the store, a few ideas came to me. Work out the phone, write them down so that way they're there. And then as I read my notes, and I have to remember what did I mean by this? Because sometimes it's cryptic. Just depends on what's happening. So what personal notes? Did you write anything in personal notes? Do you have anything on your calendar notes? So you may have a calendar note that popped up on your, popped up that said, oh, don't forget on July 1st, you need to order XYZ inventory. Or on July 1st, you need to look for this in the catalogs, like in your wholesale catalogs, or you need to establish a wholesale account with this company. So what did you write down in your notes? And we're going to summarize all that stuff, things that you run on your calendar. You're going to summarize all of that and you're looking forward. This is again when you're inspired. You don't want to have that moment, or we can have that moment. It's okay, but you have that moment where you're going, "Oh, I should have ordered that last year, or I should have whatever it happens to be." So there are times that I actually put a reminder on my calendar, my personal online calendar, my Gmail calendar, for next year, to say, you know what? And on June the 1st, I need to order this next year because now I'm behind the 8 ball. And you discover those things again when you go into the physical store or when you're out somewhere and you go, dang it, we should be selling that right now. Why didn't I source that? So again, when you have those kind of ideas, put them down somewhere so you can come back to them. So if there was something that's selling like hotcakes right now in June and I didn't source for that, then I'm probably going to put it on my calendar for next March or February to order it, to find it, to order it, so that way I can sell it and list it in March, so I can be selling it in June. So my point is, again, you're going to be inspired as you go to stores. You're going to find things. Or just as you're living your life, you could be going to go visit a friend or a family member, and they got some kind of new cool gadget or something that their kid is into, and you're like, dang it, we should be selling that. So write those things down. I put reminders on my calendar, so I always go back to my calendar and go see, okay, what did I say that I needed to order in the month of June? Okay. So go through, populate that in the looking forward section. And if you have not been tracking that kind of stuff, this hopefully will inspire you to start thinking like that. Think differently. $1 million sellers are $1 million sellers for a reason. One, they probably grind and hustle hard. But two, as they are inspired or get ideas, things come to them, they have a way of noting those things, tracking those things, keeping those things in mind. Now, you're only one human and you can only do so much. So don't beat yourself over the things that you can't accomplish, because all of us have the same 24 hours in a day. But what you can do is begin the process of being more strategic and more intentional, so that way in the future, when you get to a place where you are making more money, and you can hire a VA, you can hire a team, all of those ideas that you've been stacking up or keeping track of or made notes about, you can weed through them and see which ones will potentially yield you more income, more revenue, more money, and you can implement or execute on those. You may not be able to do it on day one, because if you're a solopreneur, you're a solopreneur. But you may get to a place where, one, you can be a lot more strategic about what you source for the future, and two, as you prepare to grow your team or scale your business over time, you already have ideas in the hopper that can generate revenue for you. That means that you'll be able to continue to pay for your VAs. I'm just saying. So, what were your quarterly notes that you also kept track of for Q2? Okay. And is there anything that we need to make a note of for Q3 in your looking forward page of this process? All right, step 3 of this process is we are going to plan for your month-end tasks. Now, of course, we can't do any of our month-end tasks right now because it's still June the 26th. At some point, you will be able to do that, but right now, all you can do is think about them and you can prepare for them. So to make your month-end activities that you engage in go a little bit faster, maybe there's some things you can organize today or organize this week so that your month-end processing goes a little bit faster. You more than likely have software But if you don't have software, if you're doing it old school, you're at a place where you're like, okay, I'm only selling 3 products and that's it. I got 3 private label products and that's all I'm selling. So you may not need a whole major process for this. Or if you have a lot of volume, like you might need a process. I don't know. So depending on what you're doing, whether or not you're using software or not using software, we are going to go through the process and talk about those month-end tasks. So the first thing is whatever platform you're selling on, run your month-end reports. Okay, we're not running it today. Probably going to do them after the first, July the 1st, so we can get our June numbers. You're going to prepare for your tax filings if you're in the U.S. You know what I'm talking about, and you're going to send your information to an accountant. So for me, as I stated before, there's the easy way of doing things, which is if you are a seller that doesn't have a lot of, you don't have a lot that you're doing to run your business. You don't have a lot of operational activities that you're engaged in. So when I first started doing retail arbitrage, what I would do whenever I went out to go purchase something, I would to resell. One, I track my mileage. That's extremely important. Your accountant needs that information. But two, I would also take my receipts. I would take a picture of the receipt as soon as I purchased the item before I even left the cash register. As soon as they gave me the receipt, I had my pen already out. I wrote on the receipt. I took a picture of it, and I emailed that receipt to an account that I created, which is NicoleTax@gmail.com. So each time I did a transaction, whether it's a simple transaction or whatever, anytime I purchased inventory, anytime I purchased shipping supplies, anytime I purchased ordered inventory from like a wholesale supplier or whoever, whether I had a purchase order or whether I had an invoice or whether it was just a regular receipt, I forwarded all of those. Once I got them in my business email account, I forwarded them over to NicoleTax@gmail.com. And I would, my mileage, I would forward all that information to NicoleTax@gmail.com if I was tracking it via whatever method I was tracking it. So I use TaxBot is the tool that I use for my mileage tracker. And you can also upload receipts to TaxBot. But in any case, as I go through the month and I'm just, forwarding stuff to NicoleTax@gmail.com, at the end of the month, my accountant can just log into that email account and be able to get whatever information they need for the whole month of June. All your bank statements, download them and forward them over to NicoleTax@gmail.com. All your bank statements, let's see, the reports, month-end reports, all that, forward that over to NicoleTax@gmail.com. All of that goes there. Okay. So again, if you're just doing basic accounting, your accountant can log into that account and use that information to reconcile your books. If you're using QuickBooks, you can download that from QuickBooks and forward that over if you don't want them to have direct access to everything. So it just simplifies things for you. You can send them the file and they can use it and do whatever they want to with it. So that's all your month-end stuff. So you're talking about your month-end reports, your month-end tax filing, your auditing of your inventory, checking for your expiration dates on your products, doing your account reconciliation for your platform, doing your bank reconciliation, doing your expense reconciliation, reconciling your expenses, completing your budget updates. So reconciling your budget. What did you budget for the month of June? And then what did you reconcile for the month of June? And just getting all of that done. And then making a note of anything that you need to address, important stuff, in your looking forward section of your planning process. Okay? So your account reconciliation, your bank reconciliation, all of that. Put that in the looking forward part. What are the numbers that you need to note? What are your stats? What do you still have yet to reconcile? And when it comes to your budget, like, did you exceed your budget or did you stay on budget? Are you still on budget? Did you go over your budget for the month of June? If you did, again, be mindful of that, because you should be establishing a budget if you're not. Step 3, now we're going to get into a little bit of the fun stuff. We're going to pull out the previous year's stats. Okay. So we're going to look at the month-end results for the month of June last year compared to the month of June this year. We're also going to look at the quarter stats for the end of quarter two last year to the end of quarter two this year. Did you meet your numbers or did you beat your numbers? Compared to last year, how did you do? So, again, you can't do this until you're at the end of the month, but you do want to compare those numbers to see where you stand. If you met your numbers or you beat your numbers, I mean, your goal is always to beat your numbers. That's always the goal. So, when it comes to the month end stats from last year and your month end stats for this year, how did you compare? If you had a month end goal of last year of creating, I don't know, 100 listings for the year, and then you look at where you were, and maybe you only got 50 completed, and this year it was 300. It's not for the year, for the month. And you got 275. Like, okay, am I improving or am I not? Am I establishing stretch goals or am I staying the same? Am I stagnant in my business or am I actually growing? Am I scaling or am I going backwards? So, this is an opportunity for you to go through and kind of assess where you are and how things are going. So, how did you do on your month end results comparing last year to this year? What numbers did you need to meet or beat in the new month compared to last year? What sold like crazy this time last year, and what was a bust? So you may actually have some lessons learned from last year, and hopefully you made a note of those things that you were supposed to be selling this year. Now, June is over, so you would have had to acquire that inventory sometime in February, March, or April in order to sell it in June. But again, this is where that advanced planning, that advanced thinking is actually going to help you to grow and scale your business. So, what were those things that sold like crazy last year? And did you sell them this year? When I say I put that little tickler on my calendar to remind myself, this is where I'm like, if I did it again, it's like, okay, every time I sell this item, I sell out. So clearly, I need to order more because this is the second year that I have not ordered enough of this. So again, when you're ordering for the month of June, if it's something that you're going to create the listing in April, so it's live April, May, and June, and it probably is going to have an uptick in sales. Like, you can go back and do analysis. This is a great one to go do analysis and keep it and say, you know what, the sales for this thing actually starts in XYZ month. And they don't taper off until XYZ month. So if they, let's say hypothetically, they really start in April, then you need to be creating that listing, or they start to come up in April. You might need to create that listing in March, which means you need to make sure you already have that inventory on hand and ready to create that listing, maybe in February or January or even December. And if the sales continue for this thing and they continue all the way into August, then that's a nice slope, and you're selling out every single year in June. This is where you need to make some decisions. You need to make some changes to your process. You need to revisit what you're doing. So paying attention to your data, paying attention to your stats, extremely important, extremely helpful on this journey. In addition to that, think about your stats as we get ready to wrap up June and make the notes of the things that we're looking forward to and some of the lessons learned. You may have some stuff to document and lessons learned, but think about not just July, but think about August and September, because look at the data for the entire quarter. What happened last July? What happened last August? What happened potentially last September? So that you can make sure that you're prepared this July, this August, and September. Now you might feel like I'm a little late. July is upon us, but maybe you still have some time to acquire that inventory if you were not paying attention. This is why those little reminders on your calendar help. So you can say, look, I need to order this inventory so I can sell it, because it sells like hotcakes June, July, and August. I need to make sure that I have this inventory enough on hand. That advanced planning is always a good thing. Okay. So go through and see what your stats were last June to June. go through and compare your stats for second quarter last year to second quarter this year, and then look ahead and look at July and look at August, and what are the things that you're about to go into compared to last year. What was the data, so you know what to look forward to? What are you working towards? So if you had a sales number for last July, of course we're going to want to beat that sales number from last July. And if you had certain sales numbers for the quarter, we want to beat those numbers too this year. The chances are, here's the deal, if you're consistent, the chances are highly likely that you are going to beat those stats. The reason is because the cost of everything has gone up. So at least your sales are going to go up because of inflation anyway. The price of everything is higher. So selling a pencil, hypothetically, selling a pencil last year may have been 10 cents. This year is 15 cents. So by default, you're going to make more money. Now it is going to cost you more to acquire the pencil. So your sales numbers are going to go up by default, but your expenses are also going to go up too. So you have to be prepared for the fact that that pencil is going to cost you more this year to make. So looking for, be on the hunt for the deals. Really important. All right. So now that we've kind of looked at, we've written down some information around June over June, and then we're preparing for July over July and August over August, or Q2 compared to Q2 this year. And Q3, what do I need to look at, focus on, think about for Q3? Okay. And we're going to make any important notes. We're going to put that information, summarize it in our looking forward section, because this may reveal to us the things we need to be selling for Q3 or the things we need to be doing differently for Q3. All right. So now we're going to be planning for the new month. Dun, dun, dun. We're going to begin the process of planning for the new month. We've wrapped up month end activities, month end assessment, analysis, review, and we're planning for the new month. The first thing I'm planning for the new month is we're going to look at, if you have the My eCom Planner, you can go and look in the daily holidays that are coming up, the monthly holidays that are coming up, the international holidays that are coming up, the major events that are happening, in your state, locally. Sometimes you have some local stuff that just really kicks up a lot of activity, especially if you happen to be in a major like convention city or state where they have a lot of international or nationwide conventions or conferences. So like I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there's a lot of major conferences that come here. Sometimes I'll go through and look through the hotel, what's on the hotels, the major hotels that host like conventions where large groups come in. I'll go through and you can go to their website and they'll show you what events are coming up. Okay. Major conferences like the Dallas Convention Center. So I'll go check that calendar as well, just to make a note of what's coming this way, what's coming up, what's happening. These may be great places to potentially source some inventory or get inventory ideas. Maybe there are things I hadn't even thought about. I also look at the Dallas Market Center, because Dallas Market Center hosts events as well, where they'll have, major, whatever it is, the toy show or, kids show, all of those things. So I will engage in those activities as well. All right. The next major thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the next major thing is, as we prepare for the new month, we're looking at major activities that are happening locally or worldwide or nationwide or in your state. So what are those things that are happening that are coming up as well? So you got major activities and major events, international holidays, monthly holidays, daily holidays. Let's make a note. These are inventory selling opportunities that are coming up next month. We're also going to look at the entire quarter. We're going to look at July, August, and September. Now, this is what I will say. Because of the fact we're going straight into July, acquiring that inventory to sell in July is a little late to the game. We should always be thinking about that inventory in advance, anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks in advance, if not 12 to 16 weeks in advance. Depending on where you're sourcing it from, might even be 20 weeks in advance, because if it's coming across the ocean, it's going to take a little while. But for those people that are doing sort of drop shipping, or they're doing print on demand, or they're doing retail arbitrage, they can acquire that inventory really quick, or they can create the listings for the inventory if they've already got suppliers pretty quick. Whereas if you're doing wholesale If you got a local wholesale supplier, that's fantastic. If you got a liquidation spot that you can hit up, that's fine too. So being able to pull together everything for July may not happen, but you can pull together stuff for August. You still have time. You can pull together stuff for September. You still have time. Now, will those suppliers be out of that inventory that's going to be hot and selling? They might be. So doing a lot of advanced planning, thinking out the next 20 weeks versus the next 4 weeks is always better. But if you have the opportunity to start throwing up some print on demand ideas and designs, this is the window to do that so that you can sell those things in July, because whatever the people are buying in July, this is your opportunity to do that. And if you're doing assessments on things that are selling, like let's say you have some software that goes through and kind of says, these are the hot things that sold in July last year. These are the hot things that sold in August and September. You can, go through and see if there's still any of that inventory you can still acquire if it hasn't already been sold out from suppliers. Because this year is so weird, this year is very weird. When you have suppliers like Target saying that we're rejecting inventory from our vendors, that means that there's a surplus out in the universe somewhere. So there's a high probability you'll be able to acquire some of the inventory that you want to be able to sell in July. But you should always be thinking about your July sales at least 2 months in advance. So if I was thinking about July sales, I would have acquired that inventory no later than May, and so that I had it in place already to rock and roll in July. So since you're going into July, we're going to be thinking about September, October, November. Okay? That's what we're going to be thinking about. But you can still make a note of those things. And again, depending on your e-commerce method, you may still be able to source some of those things and sell some of those things. All right? So as we continue on with planning for the new month, we're going to also, like I said, be doing some advanced planning. Step 6, we're going to think about the next 4 to 20 weeks. So that's 1 to 5 months from now. And as we go into July, 5 months from now is, November, December. That's where you are. Sorry, the dog has started. So we're going to look at the daily holidays, the monthly holidays, the international holidays that are coming up over the next 4 to 20 weeks, as I stated before. We're also going to be thinking about the major events and the major activities that are coming up over the next 4 to 20 weeks. And those are the things that we're going to start strategically planning to acquire or to pull together our inventory orders, the vendors that we're going to be buying from, the wholesale suppliers, if that's the case. If you're doing retail arbitrage, you already potentially know which stores you're going to be buying from and when they are going to have this inventory in-house or on the shelves so you can buy it from them. If you are thinking about stores that are going to be putting stuff on clearance, you're going to be thinking about that. When is that happening? When do they start putting stuff on clearance? All of that's going to start coming to mind for you as you begin the process of planning for Q3, okay? Your Q3 success. So you've got July, and you also have, in addition to July, you have the rest of July, August, and September. So go look at that monthly holidays, your daily, your international holidays, and begin the process of putting up listings to help you get the sales, get the traffic, get the, to be able to sell the products that you're going to make money with. All right. Next, step 7 of this journey is you're going to determine your stats goals for the new month. So I'm going to stop for just a second. I've been talking for a while. My name is Nicole Whitlock, and I'm with eCom Sellers, and this is our monthly eCom planning session. This is also our quarterly eCom planning session. So we're thinking about, what did we just close out for the month of June, and what do we need to be thinking about for the month of July that is coming up, okay? So if you need help planning, organizing, getting more focused, being consistent in your business, and you would like to talk to someone about it, about your game plan, your strategy, your approach, regardless of your e-commerce method, I'm here for you. You can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going to ecomsellers.com and clicking on freebies to schedule your free 20-minute coaching session. You can also download the eCom Planner, the My eCom Planner at myecomplanner.com. It was created for sellers by sellers, and it's an opportunity for you to get more organized, get focused, get consistent in your business. Track the information that's actually going to make a difference and help you to grow your business. So, in addition to that, I invite you to join eCom Sellers Academy. It's $17.99 a month. It's terribly affordable. We cover every e-commerce method that's out there. So you can go to ecomsellersacademy.com and join us. We have live weekly Q&As, live weekly training sessions. We give you 10 free retail and online arbitrage leads list every single week so that you can go make money right now. We also give you 10 wholesale supplier lists as well. So we are on step 7 of the monthly ecom planning, and we've had the opportunity to think through some of this. What are the things that are coming up? What are the things that we can prepare for as we try to get strategic? So one of the things that is coming up here in the U.S. is that we're going to be going into back to school. As much as you cannot believe that a lot of schools just got out of, the school just ended for some kids the beginning of June and the beginning of the first 2 weeks in June. Like for us here in the state of Texas, we were, and where I am, we were out of school by May the 20th. So my kids have been out of school now. We're going into the 5th week, I think, 5th or 6th week of being out of school. 5th week, maybe. That is a long time that they've been out of school for 5 weeks. So their summer is going to be over. They're going to start school August the 10th or the 12th, something like that. So back to school is among us. It's right upon us. Sorry. It's right upon us. It means it's about to happen. And in some areas of the U.S., they got out of school the 2nd week in June. So their back to school is not going to happen until September. Back to school is one of those times where you can make sales over like an 8-week period because it is so vast and it's so spread out. And it's not just back to school for kids like, elementary, middle school, or high school. It's also back to school for college, people going back to the dorms and all of that preparedness. So if you're struggling to come up with, products to sell, think about that window. In addition to that, we are right upon Prime Day. We are 2.5 weeks, a little under 2.5 weeks away from Prime Day. Prime Day is another opportunity to make some sales, to make some money. So thinking through Prime Day, again, one more opportunity for you to make some money, make some sales. Think about what you could be listing right now, what you can get aggressive about right now, creating listings. Today, Sunday, is a great day to create a boatload of listings. So as you go through that process, think about being more strategic about what you're doing. And you're going to document everything that we talked about for the next 4 to 20 weeks that you could be selling and things that you need to focus on for the month of July. And also for quarter 3, you're going to document all of that in the looking forward so that as you begin the process of building out the schedule or the plan for July, that you can extract all this information out of the looking forward section. Okay. So step 7 is to determine your stats goals for the month. In our stats goals for the month, we have, again, our top goals for the month. What are those top goals that we're going to establish? Okay. So do we have listing goals that we're going to establish, our sales goals, reworking listings goals, the number of hours we plan on working in our business? What do we want our sales stats to be? What do we want our ROI percentages to be? This is where we're going to determine what stats goals that we're going to be thinking about for the new month. And we're going to add that into the looking forward section. We're not going to establish them yet. We're just compiling a bunch of information from the looking forward section in just a minute. And then we're going to review the lessons learned section that we previously documented about what lessons did we learn about Q2 and what lessons did we learn about the month of June. And we're going to review the looking forward section of our notes. And we're going to begin to make some decisions. We're going to highlight what the priorities are for the month. What are the things that we need to focus on in the month of July? And what are the things we need to focus on for the quarter of Q3? Okay. What are the goals we need to establish for Q3? And what are the goals that we need to establish for the month of July? So when we talk about goals, up at the top, the very first thing that we did was we had The major goals that you're about to establish are your dun, 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 let me go back up to the top. Your top goals for the month. Okay. Those top goals for the month. There are overall goals you can establish, 4 or 5 of them, or 6. I mean, depends on how many you want to establish there. But overall, what are your overall goals that you want to establish for the month of July? They can be anything from I want to learn a new skill, I want to develop a new habit, I want to whatever. Overall goals for your business or for yourself. Then the next one is your income producing goals. This is probably where you're going to put your stats. What are your number of listings? Because we know that listings generate income. They have the potential to generate income. Okay. Of all the things that you do, that one has the biggest potential to generate income. You can go do product research, but if you don't do anything with it, it's not going to generate any income. You can go source inventory, but if you don't do anything with the inventory, it's not going to generate any income. Like it's just you're collecting stuff at that point. So you have to list it in order for it to be visible for people to buy it from you. And then what are your admin goals for the month? What are your VA goals for your month? What are the operational goals that you have for the month? Those are the things we're going to be thinking about so we can create those. What are your marketing goals for the month? And what are your ads goals for the month? Like, are you going to continue to work on building your email list? Do you have a process in place to build an email list? I mean, if you don't, this is an opportunity for you to think about it. And then as you think about all this stuff, what are the priorities for each one of the weeks? So for week 1 of July, what's your number one priority? And week 2 for July, what's your number one priority? Week 3 for July, what's your number one priority? And week 4 for July, what's your number one priority? You should be thinking about priorities that you're going to establish in your business for each one of those weeks. So, the step 9 of this process is that we are going to determine and develop or build our budget for the new month. So each month, if you're not building a budget, where are you going to spend money? What are you spending money on? I've got to order whatever I've got to order, whether it's inventory, whether it's shipping supplies, maybe it's paying for VAs, paying for the software, the monthly software that you use. Like, where are you spending your money? And what's your budget? What's your income that's coming in to cover those expenses? Or are you covering those expenses out of your pocket? Because you're really not ever reconciling or creating a budget. So you should be beginning the process of thinking about building your July budget. And while you're at it, you can build your budget for the quarter. If you're going to break that number out, if you want to take your monthly numbers and multiply it times 3, if that's what you want your quarter to be, that's fine. So figure out what makes sense. You might want to go look at your budget from last year to see what you spent in July last year. What did you spend in August last year? What did you spend in September last year? So that you can build that budget out. What did you do for the quarter? So now that we've gone through step 9, step 10 is actually taking all the information that you compiled, and now we're going to build our July and Q3 game plan. So when we're thinking about building our game plan, our goal is to identify the things that we know made us money in the past. And now those are going to be hopefully easy carry forwards into this quarter that's coming up and this month that's coming up. If we were strategic enough to order those things in advance, we may have some volume issues. So like, oh, okay, I probably should have ordered more, as I mentioned before. So I was like, okay, since I didn't order enough last year or the year before, hopefully the note that I put in place for this year or last year will make sure that I ordered enough for this year. So let's say if there was a thing that you were selling and you sold year over year, the previous year you sold, 2,000 of them. And then last year you sold 2,500. And so this year you're like, okay, I really want to sell 4,000 because I went out there and did the analysis that this thing is going to sell like crazy June, July, August. So I need to make sure I have enough to sustain that window in which this particular item sells like crazy. Those are the type of strategic decisions that you're looking to make and that you should be making, because it makes it easier for you to have or to get to your income goals when you already have that data and analysis. Sometimes people don't go back and look and see what's sold and what is selling. And you can go back and look at what is sold or what is selling some of it you can do simple Google searches, but some of it is already in the data that you have access to. Whether you're doing print on demand or drop shipping, you can go back and look at your data from what you sold last year. Oh, I forgot these things sell like crazy, and I should have started selling them in June. Okay, let me see if I can find some to sell in July. Or, oh, I forgot these are the holidays that are coming up. I probably should have already created these print on demand designs by now. So, starting that process of pulling together those types of things and beginning the process of making better decisions around what you're sourcing, what you're going to be selling, what are the things you're going to focus on to help you grow and sustain your business. The other thing, as we think about the month of July, and we also think about July, August, and September, the entire quarter, is what are the things that you need to learn or want to learn? What are the things that you can start doing now that are actually going to help you as you continue into this entire quarter? So, what I mean by that is you can also be thinking about what is the thing, like if I'm going to make more money, maybe I need to get a little bit better at creating listings. So I need to maybe get focused a little bit of time as I go through my weekly planning session. If you haven't participated in that, you should. But in your weekly planning session, you're going to allot time for education. Not every seller does that. And so if you intentionally make time for education, maybe it's an hour, maybe it's 2 hours, depends on how much time you work in your business. Maybe you can take that education time and use that to help you with getting better at a skill that's actually going to make a difference in your Q4. So if you spend July getting better at keyword research, or maybe you spend July getting better at product research. Let's just start with that. So July, you spend time getting better at product research, okay? And you apply what you learn every single day in the month of July, which you, let's say you focus on that on Sundays. And then the rest of the week, when you're doing product research, when you have product research time allotted, you're getting better at that. That means that by the end of July, you've gotten better at doing product research. That means it's going to benefit you in the month of August, and it's also going to benefit you in the month of September. It's also going to benefit you in Q4 as you go through the process of let's say that's your July goal. Then your August goal maybe is to get better at, for the quarter, is to get better at sourcing. So you establish some wholesale accounts each week. You're making sure that you're picking wholesale suppliers that are tied to your niche or the thing that you plan on focusing on for Q4. And so again, you're getting better at sourcing, asking the right questions of wholesale suppliers, establishing accounts with wholesale suppliers where you have better profit margins, whatever it happens to be. And that's what you do. Now you've got July, you've gotten better at product research. August, you're getting better at sourcing. Maybe in September, you're getting better at keyword research. So you're getting better at optimizing your listings. So you spend each Sunday for an hour to 2 hours just getting better at listing optimization. You can apply that directly to your business every single day that you're listing in the month of September. And so one of the challenges that most people have is that they learn a new skill, but then they don't do anything with it. This gives you the opportunity to actually do something with the information that you just learned. So that as you are applying the information that you just learned every single time you learn it, then you're getting better at it. So your Q3 stats, by the time you're done, could potentially improve significantly more than you even projected because of the fact that you were intentional about the things that you got better at or you wanted to learn. And you can apply all of that you've learned into Q4. It's going to have a direct impact on your Q4. Direct. You can take that same analogy, and if you decide that maybe in July you're going to focus on in your weekly planning session, you're going to commit 1 hour to 2 hours of getting better at Facebook ads. And then you're going to spend, and that's in July. And then in August, you're going to spend 1 hour to 2 hours every single week, not in a month, but every single week. And then applying that every single week, getting better at, Google ads. And then in the month of September, every single week, getting better at your Amazon PPC, or getting your Amazon campaigns, or your eBay promotions, or your Walmart promotions, like whichever platforms you're selling on. But you're going to invest an hour to 2 hours every single week on getting better at those things. So by the end of the quarter, you have upped your marketing game. And now you can apply everything that you learned and everything that you've sort of mastered at that point to Q4. It's going to have a direct impact on your results in Q4. So get strategic about what you're doing every single week so that it can impact your business bottom line for the entire month and for the entire quarter. If you think about things that way, what if you did that from January? January, you got better at keyword research. February, you got better at listing optimization. March, you got better at product research. April, you got better. Like, you just went through, and every single month you focused on one thing that you spent 1 to 2 hours every week studying, researching, learning, or using, applying the training programs that you already bought, and just going through those and then applying what you learned to that week's worth of activities. By the time you get to Q4, you are a force to be reckoned with. Your sales will be insane. You could be in a position where, oh, okay, I was a solopreneur now, but now I have 2 VAs because of the fact that my sales are so much higher. I'm making so much more money. I can afford them now. So think about, what is it that you're doing right now that could potentially change what your Q3 will look like? What are the things you need to get better at, you need to do differently, potentially, in addition to figuring out your sourcing strategy? Now, when I talk about sourcing, I just want to point out something real quick. I don't even know if I have it open anymore. It probably is closed. Nope, it's not closed. So this is, let me just change this view. Well, I'll just leave it big. So this is July. This is from the My Ecom Planner. I've kind of blown it up a little bit, but there's a couple of days that are coming up. This is in the daily planner section, and then there's the daily holiday. Sorry, and then you have the monthly holiday. So, like July the 6th is Fried Chicken Day. So if you're doing print on demand, that's a great opportunity for you. Fried Chicken Day. July the 2nd is Civil Rights Act Day. July the 20th is Moon Day. And the 20th is also Lollipop Day. Like, think about print on demand opportunities. July the 24th is Parents' Day or Pioneer Day. All of these are opportunities as a print on demand person to be able to, a seller, to be able to come up with ideas and things that you can sell, or develop and design to create listings, because those holidays are holidays that are coming up. So that's why I'm saying, think about what is really selling and what did the data tell you that sold last year. You can also do random Google searches on things that sold like crazy. Hot products for the month of July, hot products for August, hot products for the month of September. So if you do a random Google search, and you can just type in hot products for July, for top selling products for July. And normally there'll be like a Good Housekeeping article or something. So 13 products to sell online in the month of July. This was created in May. So again, this person is doing what I do, which is thinking anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks in advance, sometimes 16 to 12 weeks in advance. So this one is July. This is 13 best products to sell online in the month of July. Now, we're a little late to the game on the July thing, but this is Deals News. So they're giving you some ideas. I'm sure a lot of them are obvious, but you can see, like, okay, you've got your yard, garden, patio items. You got computers and accessories, electronics, home items, clothes and shoes. Clothes and shoes are going to sell like crazy anyway. Charging cables and stands, household products. Okay. And so all of these things are opportunities. And this is Deals News, which is great. Inside of my Ecom Planner, we have at the top of each month, we have a list of products that you could potentially sell in that month, things that are going to sell anyway for that month. So we give you some ideas. You can always go look at, in your My Ecom Planner, go look at August at the top of the page. Go look at September at the top of the page. Go look at October at the top of the page and start sourcing some of those products right now. So evidently Deals News has got a guide for each one of the months. And They already have August. And so for August, when you just do a random Google search, this is just a random Google search. It's saying these are the things that are selling in August. Okay, we've got those shoes and accessories, tools, home improvement supplies, computer, tablets, accessories, household products, home and kitchen, and the rest of the best. So I'm confident this is like an affiliate link kind of situation, which is fine. It's a great blog article, but it's giving you ideas on what you potentially sell. I was not expecting that. So, hey, might be a good source to come back and look at next month. Then this one is the 10 most popular things people bought in the month of August. This is from 2020, but that's okay. Sometimes those things are the same thing over and over again. So, but that is a focused August list from USA Today. And so you could go through, and this is Whole Foods Magazine, August 2021 hot products. So going through, you never know. I will tell you that some of the easiest products to sell over and over again, of course, are things that people are going to buy because they're replenishables. And so food items are always replenishables because you have to buy them when you run out. They're some of the easiest ones. So this is Whole Foods Magazine. Never heard of them. And so they're talking about some supplements. This is from last year. So if you're a person that's able to sell supplements, this might be something to think about as you go into, sourcing items. They've got some stuff for pets down here as well. Then they've got frozen stuff, which I'm not trying to, source those things. But again, this is where we're being strategic. We're being intentional. We're figuring out what we're going to be potentially sourcing and listing for the month of August. And this is, again, what I'm saying about sometimes you can do a Google search if you're out of ideas. If you're new to the game, you have no data from last year. This can help you just doing a basic Google search. So it says face mask. Okay, fine. And then vote necklace. Okay. Yeah. Voting is coming. Voting is all the time. People need to be more active in local elections. And yeah. Dumbbells. Okay. Workout. Nintendo Switch. Yeah. Video games are still a hot thing. Again, more mass related stuff. Loungewear and pajamas. I still think they're probably still hot. Air fryers. Definitely going to be selling this year. Air fryers will be selling this year. Sneakers will always sell. And then car seats. People continue to have babies. AirPods, you may or may not be able to sell those. Just depends. But those were the hot things that USA Today said sold. So do a Google search. You can also go to Amazon bestsellers and look for that as well. So top sold products for August. Let's see if we get anything. Top sold. Popular items. Let's see. I'm looking for August. I'm looking for something that says August. These are Amazon right now. You can go look at Amazon. Top selling products in August. This was from 2015. May or may not still be good. I don't know. You can go look at it and see if there's anything else. So again, if you're struggling with coming up with ideas on what to source and sell, you can do some random Google searches, and that may actually help you come up with what to source and what to sell. Okay. Your goal is to go out there and actually source it or to do product research on it and see if it's still in demand. It may still be in demand. It may not. So just do searches on, top 10, best, hot, use those words, best selling items in August, hot selling items in August, hot selling products in August, top 10 products sold in August or top 20 or whatever. And you can use that and just see what the results yield. You can do that for September as well. And you can also do it for July. There's still time to source for July. So as we get ready to build out our monthly plan, I'm going to go back to the My eCom Planner. We're going to fill out the My eCom Planner with our goals. Well, we're going to pull out our online calendar, and we're not going to be surprised by the stuff that's on our online calendar. If you have doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, if you supposed to get your roof replaced or take your car, renew your tags, or take your car to get an oil change, these are things that you probably put in your online calendar, your Google calendar, your Yahoo calendar, your Outlook calendar. Okay, so go look at your online calendar. Also look at your online calendar maybe for your job and see if there's anything that's required of you, whether or not there's a major audit that's coming up, or maybe there is, you're going to be traveling. Whatever it happens to be, go see what's happening when it comes to your job, and put this in your calendar, your My Ecom Planner. Use that and do that right now. So that's one of the things you need to do. And then you're going to add anything that is pertaining to your family and yourself. You're going to put that in your My Ecom Planner as well. So when I talk about your family and yourself for the month of July, they could be anything from your family is going on vacation the first week in July, or, grandma's coming in to visit the last week in July, or, the kitchen's being remodeled. So you're putting these things in your My Ecom Planner. And if you're using the My Ecom Planner, fill them in on lines 1 and 2. As many of those things that are personal, put them on lines 1 and 2. And anything that is related to your business, put those things on lines 3 through 5. So we're going to go back and look at the looking forward section, and we're going to populate all of our monthly goals. What are the goals that we need to establish? So I'm going to pull up the My Ecom Planner again, and I'm going to change the view, and we're going to do, let's see, let me minimize this. Okay. And I'm going to go to July. Okay, so I'm pulling up July. And as I pull up July, let me minimize this. Okay. So at the top of July, these are common products that are sold in the month of July. This is all research that's already been done for you. And that's in the myecomplanner.com. And then you have your top goals. You're going to write your top goals in if you get the digital version versus if you get the physical version, either one. Write in your top goals for the month. Write in your income producing goals for the month. Put in your admin or VA or operational goals for the month. Put in your marketing goals for the month. Make sure you're putting those in. Anything that is pertaining to your family or your personal, put those in lines 1 and 2. If there's a major activity that's happening on that day for you and your family, write those in this first block up here. Okay. But begin the process of going through and filling this in so that you can begin tracking this information. Okay. So lines 1 and 2 is where we're going to put our personal stuff. This is doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, things you need to know for family coming in from out of town. And then lines 3, 4, and 5, that is where you're going to put your business related stuff. So when I talk about business, this first week in July, you're probably going to week 1 of July. The priority is probably going to be reconciling your expenses, you can do a month end close and all that other stuff. So that's Friday, maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday for you. Just going ahead and closing out the month of July and also closing out the quarter. Okay. All of your month end activities probably happening then. And you may also put your month begin or quarter begin planning. That could happen on the 3rd. The 4th is probably family time and or just kind of relaxing time. So now we get into the second week in July, or just really the first full week in July. So the first full week in July, not partial week. This may be where you're going to go ahead and source inventory for September or source inventory for October. And if you're going to sell a specific thing, this is the what. Maybe the what is you're going to source Halloween. So you might put, as your sourcing activity, review the catalog for Halloween suppliers. And maybe you're not selling costumes. Maybe you're selling accessories like things that hang on the door or little stupid spider rings or whatever it happens to be. And you can put on there that in that first full week of July that you're going to order inventory for Halloween. You're also going to order candy for Halloween. Like you're going to start the process of ordering things. You're going to order Halloween baskets and buckets and, whatever it happens to be that you're going to order. Okay. You decide what it is. Maybe you've got some things you're selling private label. So maybe there's some things that are Halloween related that are complementary to the things that you're selling. So whatever your private label product is, maybe there is a Halloween theme that you can maybe put together a bundle of your private label product with that, or maybe it has nothing to do with Halloween and there's no connection whatsoever, and that's fine as well. In addition to that, the other thing that you could be doing is looking at what are the things that not only am I going to be selling in October, but also November and December, and begin the process of maybe placing large orders of inventory the first full week in July. Maybe that's all ordering Christmas inventory, July, the first 2 weeks, full weeks in July. And maybe that's what you do. And then maybe the third week in July is, and you're going to, you can put down each one of the suppliers. So day one, I'm going to focus on this supplier. Day two, I'm going to focus on this supplier. Day three, I'm going to focus on this supplier, whatever it happens to be. I'm going to look at catalogs for this. Going to do product research for that. I'm going to go through maybe on day 7, I'm going to go through and run my keeper reports, or, go back and look at the data for stuff that sold last year. I'm going to go through and do that analysis so I can be intentional and write exactly what I'm working on each one of these days, what the focus for that day is going to be on the daily calendar. On your top goals, as we said before, these could be, one of your top goals could be order inventory for Q4. That could be, it's very generic, very vague, but you're going to execute all the stuff in the month. It's one of those tasks that you're going to have on your daily activities, that every day I'm ordering inventory for Q4. Okay. For some, they may say you're a little late to the game, but that's all right. Then another top goal could be, create X number of listings. So if you are doing what I do, which is using the summer to source your revenue, your income, taking the income from the summer and using that to reinvest into inventory for Q4, then you're going to load up eBay. So max out listings on eBay. That may be what you have on your goals for the month of July. So number 1, source inventory for Q4. Number 2, max out my listings on eBay. Number 3, okay, put up 200 listings on Facebook Marketplace and I don't know, Mercari, Poshmark, Google Shopping, whatever. Or it could be learn Google Shopping. This may be the year that you decide you're going to learn Google Shopping. That's what you can put down for your top goals. Your income producing goals. Again, you could put quantitative numbers around the number of listings. You can put quantitative numbers around your sales. If your goal is to get 12 sales or 15 sales or 30 sales a day, that could be one of your income producing goals. And so every day you're working towards getting 20 sales each day, whatever that happens to be. If you want your average ROI to go up, so if you want your average ROI to go from 20% to 25%, again, that could be one of your income producing goals. That's going to increase your income and also help you in some kind of way. So creating listings is an income producing activity. Outsourcing your shipping, maybe you want to put that as one of the things that you want to do, so that way you don't have to handle shipping because it feels like it takes you longer to get that done. So you can put that in your income producing goals. You can put that in your operational goals, which is the next section. So you decide what your goals are going to be for the month. Your marketing goals. So your marketing and your ads goals. Maybe you're deciding in the month of July, I'm not going to do anything on paid ads. I'm going to do 100% all organic. So if I'm going to do organic, what is one of my marketing or traffic related goals? Maybe cross listing on another platform. So cross listing 5 listings every single day on another platform. That is a specific goal, and you can put that down. Another one could be, or acquiring cross-listing software. So there's a lot of different cross-listing software out there. There's Vendoo, there's List Perfectly, or maybe you're going to go omni-channel, and so you want something like Listing Mirror, or you want eCom Dash. That could be what you decide to do. Acquire, set up one of your marketing-related goals or operational goals is to set up your software, your new software. So that's an operational goal that you can put. Maybe hire a VA. That's another operational goal that you can put, or admin goal. Marketing, in addition to cross-listing on other platforms, the other thing is running your listings through Pingler and Ping Farm. So running 5 listings through Pingler each month so you can do organic traffic, each day so you can do organic traffic. That's another goal that you can put down. Another goal that you can put down is, in addition to cross-listing and running it through Pingler and Ping Farm, maybe you begin the process of creating videos to go with your listings. That's, taking your existing pictures of your product and converting those stills into animation or motion so that they become a video per se. And so creating videos to go with your listings. That's another thing that's marketing to get organic traffic, building up your email list, and, starting the process of having a list or building a list so that you can email promotions for Black Friday, Cyber Monday out to your list. So there's all kinds of things that you can put as your goals. I want you to think through those. Go back and listen to the weekly planning session, and then go look at this monthly, quarterly planning session and see what you can use to strategically begin the process of building out your plan for Q3 and also for the month of July. So we're taking all that stuff from the looking forward section, and then we're also looking at our weekly template to help us figure out what we're doing each week, what we're doing on week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and we're populating that. We're filling in our top goals, our top monthly goals, our income producing goals, our admin or VA or operational goals, and your ads, traffic, or marketing related goals. And and then you're going to add any remaining major holidays, events, or activities to your calendar on line 1, which is what I just said earlier. And that will fill out your goals and your plans for the month of July. And it will also give you insight into what your goals that you're establishing for the quarter. What is your target? What are you hoping to reach? What are you planning on doing? So, with that being said, I hope this information is helpful. I hope you use it to actually build out your monthly plan. I also hope you use it to build out your quarterly plan. I know this was longer than it was last time, so I apologize for that. But I do hope this information is helpful to you. So, if this is helpful, share this out. Let a friend know about it. Have them come back, listen to it for themselves, and they can apply it to their business and their business model for what makes sense for them. And do some strategic planning when it comes to your business. Be intentional. Don't be caught off guard. Be prepared to get as many sales as possible and to make as much money as possible because you were intentional about the decisions you made in your business. And you learned from maybe the things that didn't go so hot. Lessons learned are always important. So with that, again, my name is Nicole Whitlock. I'm with eCom Sellers, and my passion is helping people to get organized, get focused, get consistent in their e-commerce business. And if that's you, I'm here for you. You can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going to ecomsellers.com, clicking on freebies, and scheduling a free 20-minute coaching session. If you need some support, some help on your e-commerce journey, I would encourage you, one, to get organized, get the My Ecom Planner. In there, you can put in your daily tracking stats. You can schedule and put together your schedule, your daily schedule, and you can establish your goals, define your goals, track pertinent information regarding your business that's going to potentially help you to grow your business over time. You can download this daily checklist or this monthly checklist. You can actually download the daily, monthly, and weekly checklist directly from the from the e-commerce planning Facebook group. You can go to the files section and download the daily, weekly, and monthly checklist so you can use that to help you on your journey. And I also invite you to join eCom Sellers. It's a great Facebook group. We also have access to over 200 training videos. We talk about every method of e-commerce. So you can join the e-commerce planning Facebook group. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye for now. I hope you have an amazingly blessed, extremely focused, highly productive, extremely profitable day. And with that, we'll say goodbye. Thanks so much.